Trust no one, especially a bounty hunter. When he died in the first Clone War battle, Jango Fett left a fortune somewhere on the planet of Argao. The bounty hunter Aurra Sing is the only person who knows where the fortune is, but Jango's son, Boba Fett, is the only person who can get it. Aurra Sing needs Boba, and Boba needs Aurra Sing. But there's no way they can trust each other. Every move could be a deception. Every word could be a lie. As the search for Jango Fett's legacy becomes dangerously complicated, young Boba Fett must outsmart and outmaneuver enemies of all kinds, even hidden ones. His future as a bounty hunter depends on it.
Hello, young bounty hunters! This is Padawan Library, the Star Wars Junior Novel Podcast. I'm Levi Paratic, and with me, as always, my co-host, Tim May.
Hey!
And Tim's riding high. Tim's done with school.
Yeah, listen.
This episode's late,
and
but
you know,
who
if
cares?
you listen to the feed, if you're on YouTube, sorry that there was no message for you. I forgot to upload the message to YouTube. But if you listen on the feed, you know already that, yeah, I had finals, and I was just... It's not so much that, like, I absolutely couldn't fit the show in. I was just like, you know what? I'm already kind of stressed out, and, like, you know, I just don't feel like it. So I thought, you know, once in over a year where we missed a release day is not so bad for an independent podcast.
No, we're doing good.
Yeah.
We've done great so far.
We're
I can't
fucking
believe
killing it. Weekly
This is
show.
episode 55, and we've only missed the one episode.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like you and I have slightly different counting on our episodes.
You have the right count.
Yeah,
I don't know what mine is.
Because you send me your files and it'll be labeled like one episode higher than I have. I think because I didn't count the Little Women episode. It's a special episode.
Oh, that's why. Okay, I'll go back. I'll read it.
It's not a big deal. This is the most inside baseball nonsense. The listeners are looking back at their at the backlog of the episodes. They're like, they're all numbered totally normally. What are they talking about?
So we're tomorrow. Today, I guess, is when the episode comes out.
Yeah, I'm
you can
try
watch
to get it up tonight. It might be out. I'm thinking maybe putting it out at midnight just so I don't have to wait for the YouTube thing if I want to go to bed.
There you go. There you go. But listeners can enjoy what's the name of the Mandalorian behind the scenes show? It's like Disney Showcase.
I think that means they're going to do that for other non-Star Wars things too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Disney show. Is it Showcase or like Disney? It's something like that. Anyway, it's a behind the scenes thing. We're excited. We'll talk about that on the episode that drops later this week on Friday on our normal
Friday.
day.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the first episode of that behind the scenes documentary. Very excited about that. I love that kind of stuff. So I was just
very excited too. I hope we get a sneak peek at season 2.
I think we might at the end. I mean,
you hear it's already greenlit they've already greenlit season 3, and Favreau's already working on it.
Thank God. That's what we need.
I agree.
It's all I
apparently
want.
he's already writing episodes. He's so excited.
And listen, for our listeners, I am not caught up on Clone Wars, much to the chagrin of former guest Sam McCauley, who is texting former guest Brooke White, not me, every day to be like, Tim and his brother need to catch up on fucking Clone Wars. And once me and my brother can be safely hanging out in our own homes, which should be the end of the week, maybe, then we will catch up. But me and my brother watched that show together, and that's how I want to watch it. And also, I know what happens. It can't be spoiled for me, because, again, we've known the events of these episodes for years. So,
yes.
like, I don't mind waiting a little bit and just and watching it later. So it's whatever.
Yep. Well, you know what? I've started watching it as myself because I want to know what all the hype is. I haven't finished Clone Wars in its entirety. I just picked up on the new season.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just finished the Bad Batch. I just finished the Bad Batch arc. There's some real creepy elements to that arc. It's they did a little fun job there. Music's really good this season too.
Oh, yeah. Is it still Kevin Kiner, right?
Yeah, it is.
That guy's really good. His score for Rebels is unreal. Yeah, I hope that we get. You don't know the ending of Rebels, so I won't say specifically, but I really hope we get the sequel to Rebels that we all want. In the nearish future. That's all I'll say. But yeah, I'm excited. We'll probably knock it out soon.
There's this one hilarious bit. I think it's in the third or fourth episode with Mace Windu, where Mace Windu talks to battle droids. It had me laughing so hard.
Love it. No, yeah, I'm gonna catch up on that probably next weekend, so we might be able to talk about the full season 2 episodes from now. So just a heads up for listeners that might be wondering what we think about that. That's what's going on there. And then I'm trying to think of other Star Wars stuff. I mean, listen, I've been, I watched, this is actually something I'm going to recommend to you. I watched the first 5 episodes of this new Hulu FX show, Mrs. America. Have you heard about this?
I have heard. That's Cate Blanchett, right?
Cate Blanchett plays Phyllis Schlafly, who's like this woman who campaigned against the Equal Rights Amendment in the 70s. She's like a Republican like lobbyist, basically. And then there's it also follows like the rest of the kind of the second wave feminist movement, like Gloria Steinem and Betty Friedan and stuff. Really good. It's written by Davy Waller, who wrote for Mad Men, and it's really good. It's very fun to watch and well made, and I'm recommending it to our listeners and to you.
All right, I'll take that. And speaking of writers for Mad Men, to not bring back the show as always to Sopranos, but I just finished the first half of season 6.
Okay.
And I want to say Carmela definitely deserved to win the basketball tournament because she has been on fire this season. when Tony's in the coma and she tells him that she loves him, that is incredible. And then whenever she is in Paris, the whole Paris thing is unreal.
Unbelievable.
So.
And when she sees Adriana, that is the best. But,
man.
That season is so underrated. That's like, I remember, because that's the first season I watched like as it aired, and people were so mad because they knew the show was going to end after like the next run of episodes. And like they were so mad, they're like, "Why are we spending all this time with Vito?" And like I was like, "The Vito stuff is so good." I love it. And yeah, I don't know. And then if you're getting to the last 9 episodes, then is what?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just finished the first arc, the first half of it. I know
that last run of 9 episodes is get ready, just. Get ready to like stew in it for a while. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sure. I'm expecting like I know how the end is because whenever it ended, it was huge on news, and I watch news every day. But like I don't know anything else beyond that. I'm expecting just beloved characters to be just killed off left and right. That's what
I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I'm sure you'll like the ending because. At least on matters like this, we generally agree. So we like the endings of almost all TV shows that we like. So,
oh, you know what I love too? I love the. I'm going to compare it to a show that obviously copied this, but the whole Kevin Garvey like leftovers. Whenever Tony's in the coma, where he's the.
Oh yeah, it's Kevin Finnerty. Is that his name?
Yeah. Kevin Finnerty.
Infinity, yeah. I love that too. A lot of fans hate any Dream stuff. I love all the Dream shit. It's all
the Dream
great.
shit
It's
is amazing.
It's like this side of Twin Peaks, the best Dream shit ever on TV.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible.
I agree 100%. It's so good.
And like the test Dream from season 5, that episode is incredible. Oh my god. Get ready, the last run of episodes, Chase cut the writer's room down to 2 writers. It's just him, Matt Weiner, and Terrence Winter, who created like Boardwalk Empire and wrote like Wolf of Wall Street and shit. But like, it's just the 3 of them, and they each write 3 episodes. It's like,
wow.
And it's like just murderer's row of episodes. Just incredible stuff. God, I need to rewatch it again, God.
Yep. I mean, it's all I watch. I watch Sopranos, and I watch RuPaul's Drag Race, which I'll tie this into Star Wars a little bit. Daisy Ridley was a guest judge this week on the show.
I tried to watch it, but I don't have VH1 or cable, so...
You didn't miss much. She didn't do a whole lot.
Okay.
She was just kind of there, and...
was she at least a fine judge? Nothing embarrassing?
Yeah, she was a fine judge. If anything was embarrassing, the one queen, Crystal Method, embarrassed herself because it actually wasn't in the episode of Drag Race. It was on Untucked, the behind the scenes kind of thing where all the drama happens. And Crystal goes like in a side interview. She's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I get to meet the first female Jedi." And I was just like, oh.
Not true!
Not true!
Oh, I mean, I love Rey, by the way, despite my feelings about how everything went down eventually with the last film. I love that character. Love Daisy Ridley. Wish her nothing but the best. Casting directors, get on it and get her into some other movies.
I'm really curious to see if her career path kind of follows like that same career path as like Mark Hamill's, where it just kind of like waves a little bit.
I worry that might be because she's only made she made Murder on the Orient Express,
right?
And then I guess she's made this Chaos Walking movie that seems like it's never going to come out with him.
That's a movie with
her and Tom Holland, and it's Doug Liman directed it, and they shot it like 3 years ago or something. It's like, who knows if it'll ever come out. And like, I think she just focused on the last Star Wars movie, which is reasonable on her part, but I just I want her to have a good career because she's really great in those movies, even the third one. So, which is pretty hard.
Despite her character arc being the most flawed of all the arcs.
Despite all the bullshit thrown at... I will say this about her and Adam, and I'll say it for sure about Adam, referencing last week, that despite all the nonsense thrown their way in that movie, they both acquit themselves very well. It's what it is. Anyway,
I agree.
Anyway,
speaking of, so with the first female Jedi, well, I mean, I guess let's see, expanded universe.
Expanded universe, there's plenty.
Oh yeah, but I guess let's go in film then. Film would be episode 1, and that would be probably Yaddle and Adigaya. Who else is on the council? I'm missing.
There's definitely at least 1 or 2 others. I feel like.
Yeah,
right? I'm blanking, but there's them, and then as far as featured characters, there's not really any major female Jedi characters in the actual prequels, I guess.
Right.
They're all kind of side characters, but there's also
we have Ahsoka. We have Ahsoka to make up for that.
Ahsoka Tano, excuse me, let's be real.
Yeah, she was here before Rey, so
she started this taste of shit, and this the motherfucking thanks she gets. That's all I have to say.
And she's here to invade every TV series they make. She's going to make an appearance on.
She's the best character. The best character. One of the greatest Star Wars characters of all time. I know like a lot of like Legends people have like mixed feelings about Clone Wars. And I just want to say they're wrong, even though they probably make up the bulk of our audience. You're wrong. Clone Wars rules and is way better than the book we're reading today, which is part of the original Clone Wars multimedia project.
I know.
So goddamn boring.
Watching Clone Wars last night, we let the credits roll, and there was like a solid 3 to 4 minutes of credits for voices in different countries, with the voiceover cast, and Mel and I just looked at each other, and it's like, well, they got to be George. George was like, every child in every nation must know the horrors of war.
It's true. It's bad.
It's so Clone Wars is so violent.
Yeah, it's the most violent shit of all time. Anyway, I think there's one other thing I wanted to say that was just nonsense. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to just relax. I'm going to try to watch some films. Continue my Kurosawa stuff. Also,
I've been told that all the Dolomite movies are on Tubi right now. So,
oh, cool, nice.
Yeah, I need to check those out.
I'm not going to go
Eddie
into
Murphy movie.
Yeah, those movies. I feel like I saw one when I was a teenager, but I might be mixing it up with something else. But anyway, I feel like we need. I feel like we need. What am I talking about? I don't remember. God.
You're going to sit and watch some movies?
Movies!
Now with your time off?
Oh, yeah. I feel like I don't need to talk about this at length like I did with Trancers, but I did watch every Subspecies movie on Tubi, which is another Full Moon series, and that's pretty consistently solid.
Yeah, I saw the Letterboxd reviews. You guys definitely way more consistent.
It's more consistent. I'll say I liked the good Trancers movies more. But I thought, the first Subspecies is very good. The rest of them are all, a step down, but they're, consistently on the same, step down level. Mm-hmm. They don't, keep going downhill. So, props to, I guess, Ted Nicolau, I think, wrote and directed all those, which is crazy that the same writer and director for the whole thing. But, yeah. Anyway, and they're making 5, apparently.
Oh, damn.
So, and he's coming back and everything 22 years later, so. We'll see about that.
And we certainly will, just like all the other horror sequels that say they're going to get made and never do, like that Killer Clowns.
They were going to start shooting this in March, and I guess they just delayed shooting to July. We'll see if that happens, but they shoot in Romania, so I don't know what the Romanian restrictions are. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, and then this just seemed like a movie that you might be interested in. That was just added to Criterion Channel that I'm going to watch. It's a Chinese movie from 2004. Called The World, and it's about a woman who works at a theme park where all the attractions are recreations of famous things from around the world, like Taj Mahal, the Eiffel Tower, that kind of stuff. And just the description sounded incredible, so I just wanted to give you a heads up on that.
Okay, let me know how that is.
I'm going to try to watch that soon. Just sounds like something in your wheelhouse.
Oh, so. You have no idea. The last month I've been playing Roller Coaster Tycoon nonstop. It's a problem. Yeah. It's too much of a problem at this point. So, but I really just want to go to an amusement park right now. That's what I really want to. I want to ride a roller coaster.
That'd be great. Man. Well, it would be. We'll see. We'll see if we can do that next year. Anyway, so yeah. I think, you know what? We vamped enough, I think.
Yeah, we've had plenty of vamp. And,
so...
we didn't even announce what we're reading this week. This week, folks, we're reading Boba Fett #3, Maze of Deception. And this is a big thing because we have a new author of the series.
Isn't there a third author later on, too?
No. So Elizabeth Hand takes over, and she finishes out the series.
Okay, we'll talk.
So she does 4 books.
We'll talk after the break here, but So Boba Fett #3. Stay tuned.
Yep.
Welcome back to Padawan Library. I'm Tim May here as always with Levi Paratic.
Hello again.
Hey, yay. So this week. Boba Fett #3, Maze of Deception. Right? Am I right?
Yes, that's correct. Maze. Okay. Yes, Deception.
Yeah, so this is not by Terry Bassan. Farewell, Terry. Goodbye. It was nice meeting you. Really nice to see you. We'll see you maybe one day again, but probably not.
Probably not, unless he makes a new Star Wars book sometime soon, but I don't think he will. So
not going to happen.
He's only done 2. And I mean, and Elizabeth Hand here has only done 4. Neither have returned to the franchise at all. I will say this: Terry wasn't bad. Terry's
Terry's a good writer.
Oh yeah, Terry's up there. I mean, I would say Jude, and then I would put the Galaxy of Fear guy, and then him and Dave Wolverton probably on the same level, somewhere in there. Dave Wolverton probably a step below. Dave Wolverton was a little more campy than the rest of those guys, but that's yeah. Yeah, it was good.
And we'll get into this with this book too. I'm not really blaming either of the writers that much as far as their talent. Like, they're both fine craftspeople.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I gotta say, 3 books in, we're halfway through the series now. I don't care about this series. It's not bad. I don't want to
it's not bad, but
it has not hooked me in any real way.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? I don't know.
I agree 100%. And he's just not intriguing. I mean, he's come a long way from his good little boy in the first book, but
I almost would rather just have the good little boy because it's funny.
Right?
You know what I mean? It's funny how much of a good boy he is. And now he's back to full just little shit from Attack of the Clones.
He is, and everything is cool and rad to him. You know, he just finds things neat, and he's just like any average 10-year-old boy who would like video games and adventure.
He's the most kid our age, unfortunately, at that time.
Mm-hmm.
That there
and there's
be.
And of course, I mean, without the Jedi element added to it, or the Force element to it, there's no at least with that you can have subtext, but this kid just wants to be a bounty hunter, and he's just going through the maze of deception.
There's a couple and we'll get into all of this, but there's a character who's introduced here near the beginning of the book that I thought was going to be in the whole book. And I was like, this will be interesting.
Yep.
And we'll get to it. And then the character is there for a chapter or 2 and is gone.
Because, you know what, there's also I remember there, if I remember the second book correctly, I think there's a contradiction in this book that would involve that character, which would have made this book more interesting, in my opinion. But we won't get into that right now.
Yeah, well, but you wanted to read the prologue.
Well, I want to talk about Elizabeth, because I have some notes on her.
Sorry.
So Elizabeth Hand was born on March 29th, 1957. Happy belated birthday. Yep, shouts. She grew up in Yonkers, so shout out to Nick Wazisco, former late mayor of Yonkers.
Oh my God! Prayers up,
up to Nick Wazisco. True Lord.
Listen, watch Show Me a Hero. With
Oscar
Isaac. You want to see Oscar Isaac do some real acting? Rise of Skywalker.
I would put that up there as one of Oscar Isaac's best performances. Is that show right there?
And Llewyn Davis. Those are
Mm-hmm.
So if you want a quick top 5 Oscar Isaac movies, let's go.
Okay, Show Me a Hero.
Performances. Show me. I go Llewyn Davis 1. Show Me a Hero 2. Ex Machina 3.
Oh, that's a good one. I'd have that on mine. I'd also have A Most Violent Year, which I don't think you've seen.
I still haven't seen it. It's on Netflix. I keep seeing it. I'm like, Oscar
it's
and
got
Jessica.
Chastain.
Oscar
they went
and
to
Jessica.
school together. They're from the same graduating class of Juilliard.
I need to watch it. It's embarrassing. I haven't seen it.
And rumor has it they're going to do a sequel with Chastain. So that's the rumor.
Okay. Well, anyway, I will probably watch it soon. And that guy's a talented director. You know what movie I liked a lot that no one else cared about? The movie he directed last year that was on Netflix, Triple Frontier with Ben Affleck and Oscar Isaac.
And that got good reviews.
It got okay reviews, but I really liked it. And Oscar Isaac, he enters the movie at the very beginning. He's riding in a helicopter and listening to For Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica. And it is the fucking coolest thing ever. I'm not even a huge Metallica metalhead or anything. But I was so pumped. I was just screaming in my recliner. Yes! 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 Shouts to Oscar Isaac. He's a true lord. We loved him way before Force Awakens.
Yep. I think you need two more movies on your list.
Oh, I don't want to put Triple Frontier on there. I'm trying to think. I must be missing a big one. To me, those top three are pretty easily the top three.
Right. Yeah, I agree with those as the top three. I'm trying to think what else. I have a list. I have a ranked list on Letterboxd.
Did you like? I remember you kind of liked that movie Two Faces of January, right? With him and Viggo and
that
Kirsten.
was good. That is a good movie.
That's a great cast. I need to see that.
Mm-hmm, that is a good one. He was good in that. That very good cast.
He's great in Drive. I don't really like that movie.
He's not a big enough role in it, in my opinion, either. So.
I agree. He has like a great scene.
Oh, Annihilation. That's a great one.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Him and Natalie.
He's not in it a lot, but
no.
he's important, though, so...
I could tell you what his worst movies are.
Okay.
X-Men Apocalypse.
That's not hard, yeah.
Yeah, Sucker Punch. Also one of his worst movies.
He's fun in Sucker Punch, though. He's the one part that kind of is, like, amusing.
And then, do you remember that movie Life Itself?
Oh, yeah, I didn't see it. I heard it was horrific.
It was horrific, and it made no sense. So it was so bad.
He's not been making the greatest choices, I feel like. Lately.
Well, because he also did this other movie that was, like, it wasn't great, but it was bizarre. It was a movie called Mojave. Have you heard of Mojave?
Yeah, that's him and Garrett Hedlund, right?
Yeah, and so basically there's a celebrity. He goes out into the desert to like find himself, and he meets this drifter, and Oscar Isaac is the drifter, and he's doing this weird accent. It's bizarre. It's a really crazy performance out of him.
Maybe we can finally launch our Oscar Watch podcast when we're done with this.
Mm-hmm,
so
I agree.
Movie by movie. One of our occasional listeners, Franco, has been begging us to do this as a podcast for years now.
Okay, so... All right, we're way off topic.
Listen,
so
shouts to Oscar. Why do we even bring him up in the first place?
Because Nick Wazisko. Shouts to the late
Elizabeth Hant's from Yonkers. I hope her and your I hope you and your family were not against busing, or housing reform.
Right.
But shouts to Yonkers. Shouts to Nick Wazisko.
All right. So she's written over 20 novels. Her first novel was put out in 1990, and she has about 14 or so like original novels. And then, like Terry, she's done a handful of movie novelizations as well. Those include 12 Monkeys, Catwoman, and X-Files: Fight for the Future.
The Future. Excuse me.
Oh, sorry. I apologize.
I like that movie.
And then most of her work is mostly sci-fi and fantasy. She's won all sorts of awards, including the Trip Tree Award, the Mythopoeic Award, and the Nebula Award.
Nebula is a big one.
That's a big one.
Nebula is like the second most prestigious sci-fi award after the Hugo. So.
Yes,
Props
and
Elizabeth.
I will note her website has no mention of these Boba Fett books on them, so I wonder if she feels a certain way about them. But
she might have just been like, I got some quick work.
I need the paycheck. Yeah. So
I made a joke that was half serious a couple weeks ago that I thought that Elizabeth Hand was Jude Watson because she's definitely not, but. What is up with Amazon's author algorithm? Because when I click on her name on Amazon, it only has the Boba Fett books.
That is weird. Because she's written many books. So.
You're right. Yeah. But they probably just have them filed weirdly, whatever. Anyway. She's... I think she's fine. I think her writing is fine. You want to read the prologue, which actually I think shows that she's a solid craftsperson. I just,
Right.
We'll get into the plot.
Yeah, because I like this prologue because it gives us a moment between Boba Fett and Jango Fett, even though it's just a dream. So I liked how she started with this prologue as opposed to just jumping into the story where we left off. So The dream was always the same. Boba Fett always thinks of it as the dream because it's the only one he ever remembers, the only dream he ever wants to remember. In the dream, his father Jango Fett is alive. He is showing Boba how to handle a blaster. The dull gray weapon is much heavier than Boba thought it would be. Like this, Jango says. He's not wearing his Mandalorian helmet, so Boba can see his father's brown eyes, coolly intelligent but not cold. Not when he's looking at his son. When his father holds the blaster, it looks weightless, a deadly extension of Jango's own hand, but the hands of a weapon to He hands the weapon to Boba, who tries to keep it steady as he holds it. Always make certain your grip is tight, Jango goes on, or else your enemy can knock it from you, like this. A quick motion and the blaster falls from Boba's hand. He looks up in dismay, expecting reprimand, but his father is smiling. Remember, son, trust no one, but use everyone. That's
Trust
when
no one, fight the future, X-Files.
Oh, that's when Boba wakes up. Sometimes his father's message is different, and sometimes the weapon is different. A dart shooter, say, or a missile, but one thing never changes. Boba wakes up from the dream, and his father is still dead.
Damn. Yeah, I like that. It was, that actually got me pretty excited, and then, yeah, again, we'll get into the plot here.
That's where it's a lot of recapping.
There's so much. The first 3 or 4 chapters are just recapping the first 2 books, basically. Mm-hmm. Basically, if you remember where we left off, Boba had kind of teamed up with Aura Singh, and essentially she was going to take him to where his fortune that Jango had left him was being kept. And she would get to keep half of it, basically, in exchange for not killing him, or something like that. So
yeah,
they head to this planet. What's the planet called?
Let's see here. The planet is called
R or something.
Aargau. Argao.
Argao, yeah.
Argao.
So they head to the planet Argao, which is basically the home base of the. It's not, I guess, the home base of the Intergalactic Banking Clan. I'm sorry.
It's run by the Intergalactic Banking Clan. So.
Right. So, and it's basically a bunch of banks for different planets. Mm-hmm. Highly.
And the planet is a giant pyramid with different levels. So. Part of the habitable portion of the planet is one gigantic pyramid. It's divided into 7 levels. The upper level is the smallest, so security can check all visitors coming and going. Then as you go down, you find administration, then the banks, then the vaults, then the treasuries. And then the merchant and living levels are below these. And at the very bottom, below level 7, is the underworld, where all things go. It's the lawless.
Undercity, I think.
The Undercity. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and so basically, important information up front. If you're not a citizen of Argao, then it's illegal to hold any weapons. Mm-hmm. So Aura Singh immediately super suspicious in that way.
She's definitely a card-carrying NRA member, so because she's told she has to take her weapons back to the Slave One, and she's pissed about it. So, yeah. And that's when Boba gets to make his escape. So she goes back to the ship. He darts away to get out of there, get away from her, so he can try to claim his fortune before she can. And he also
remember he got a card that is essentially an ID that allows him to withdraw money.
Correct. And he runs into a turbo lift. Well, he hears somebody chasing him because he's just like, oh no, they're going to catch me. So he runs into a turbo lift, and who's ever chasing him makes it into the turbo lift, and turns out Boba left behind his book that's not a book that his father gave him. He's carrying it with him all the time. He left it behind, and the person who chased after him was a clone boy who looks just like him. So this is where I think we have a mild contradiction between the two authors, because in this book, on page 4, it says that the banks can only because of the access code was programmed so that only Boba's retinal scan and DNA could be obtained. Since Boba was the sole unaltered clone of his father, he also shared Jango's pure genetic material. I remember in the last book, like, Boba thinking to himself that all Ara has to do is grab a clone and she doesn't need Boba Fett, like, if she knew that. But this book contradicts that, which, since he meets a clone kid, and they share this little moment together, so Boba has to, like, convince the kid that he's also a clone, and they share this little moment, and then Ara is like, the elevator door opens and like Ara's there, and Boba basically just like pushes the kid out of the elevator and closes the door and just lets the kid, who knows, we don't know what happens to the kid. She probably kills him.
This is the problem. When they introduce this character, you're like, oh cool, we're finally going to deal with how Boba feels about being a clone and how he's different from the other clones and all that stuff. And like, the character is just disposed of so quickly, and it's just like, it just then turns into an endless chase scene for the next 100 pages.
Yep.
It's just like anytime these books start to hint at something interesting, then
because the last book did it too. Whenever he's on the clone ship, that could have been the whole book right there, him on the clone ship. But it wasn't. So
maybe they're building up to something like that for the last one, but I doubt it.
I think we're meeting Jabba the Hutt soon. So
yeah, I'm excited for Jabba. We'll talk about that. But
and that clone, by the way, was Clone 9779.
Part of the 50th generation.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, basically after that, he kind of slips away. He meets up with this. What's the species called?
He's
again?
a BIM, and BIMM, and his character's name is Nuri.
Nuri, yeah. So teams up with Nuri, who's going to help him basically navigate the Undercity so that he can more quickly get to his bank account without running into Aura Singh up on the main level. So they go underground, and then basically, they basically just they outrun a few people, and then
they go somewhere. They go somewhere, and then Nuri then takes his card and puts it into the thing, and then withdraws. Let me see how much money. It's
500,000, whatever the.
Yeah, it was some weird thing. A ton of money, almost all of Boba's money, and turns out Nuri was a changeling, or I don't think that's what they called him. He wasn't a changeling in this book.
A shapeshifter of some sort.
Shapeshifter, yes. You're a shapeshifter, Boba gasped. So then Nuri, or the shapeshifter, runs off with his money, and then Boba he's like, well, crap, now I gotta get to the bank that I need to be, withdraw what money I do have, get back to Slave One before Aura Singh can find me. Now, weirdly, Boba sees a Twi'lek walking by, a male Twi'lek.
Yeah, and automatically assumes it's Bib Fortuna.
Bib Fortuna, yeah. He's like, well, this has to be Bib Fortuna, so I'll follow him. And he follows him into a casino owned by a Hutt, and he thinks, well, I need to find Jabba the Hutt because he has something of mine, knowledge I'm supposed to learn from him. And so it turns out, nope, Boba's not there. It's instead, what's this Hutt's character's name? He's Boba's cousin.
Damn it! I should have written this down.
Yeah, I got it circled somewhere.
So funny.
Yeah,
it's like I
Gorga. It's Gorga.
Gorga the Hutt. Thank Gorga. God. Thank the Lord. Thank the Gorg.
And then, so as all this is also going on, Sandhill the Separatist, the legendary Separatist Sandhill, is also on the planet, and basically Sandhill is there because they're trying to get the Hutts to join the Separatists.
And remember, this is actually kind of important information, remember that Boba Fett knows that Dooku and Tyrannus are the same person, so Boba Fett's trying to figure out how to use that information to his advantage throughout the whole book. So
right, which he does. He gets caught by one of Sandhill's associates, and in exchange for access up to level 2, Boba promises him the important information he has, which he does give to him, and then Aurra Singh kills that guy. And then Boba escapes Aurra, gets to the bank. Aurra obviously gets arrested, and he gets what little money he has left, and he takes off, and he sets a course for Tatooine. End of the book.
That's basically right. There's not a lot of interesting details that we can go into. I hate how little we're talking about these books, but there's we could have the Jude books have spoiled us, because those books we really can break down for a long period of time individually. I feel like, and even the ones that aren't that great, But, these books have so little plot. They're just endless chase scenes. Endless, just action with very little incident. It's essentially just, this is not even a huge criticism. It's just that they don't lend themselves to interesting discussion. Anytime they possibly open themselves up to more interesting avenues, like the clone stuff, they kind of just... They
just shut down. They turn the corner. Yeah.
But yeah. So
I mean, I agree. I think out of the 3 books, this is my least favorite so far. So
yeah, it's frustrating because we're talking for 22 minutes. This is gonna, and I just, I wish. I wish we knew how much substance was in these, because then it's the same thing that would happen with Science Adventures, where we did 2 episodes when we could have easily done 1, and I just feel like we could have split this into 3 episodes instead of 6.
Unlike those books though, these are full 130-page books, so we figured we'd have something to talk about, but we just don't. So
right, so it's fine. Listen, I don't want to be rude. Whatever. I don't care if I'm rude. You know what I mean. But it's kind of. I feel like I'm really jonesing for a really good book, and I think we're going to get it next week.
I think we're getting it next week too.
Because we're so talking. Is it Legacy of the Jedi? Is the first one?
Yes, it's Legacy of the Jedi.
So we're talking Jude again next week, but we'll get to that. We should finish up Boba Fett here for now. We're going to finish up Boba Fett in a couple weeks, but. This book, I agree. I think it's the weakest. I didn't, in some ways the character felt more real than he has previously. I think Terry's good boy stuff maybe wasn't in line with what the character should be, but it felt more like a real character, even if it didn't feel like Boba Fett, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it felt more like a fully formed character. This character just feels like a cipher. And anything that could be potentially interesting about him is just is sidestepped, and I think there's some good. The action's fine and read very smoothly. I wasn't mad or anything, but at the end of it, it was just I was, at the end of it, I was is that all there is? That's what I was thinking. Peggy Lee. Is that all there is?
Yeah, it's the chase ends, Aurra gets captured, and he just hops on the ship and takes off. There's not really a cliffhanger or anything. Nothing that really makes me excited for the next book. The
cliffhanger is basically that he's heading to Tatooine to meet Jabba, which I'm curious how that goes. That's going to be their first
Jabba's
meeting.
Obviously going to laugh right in his face. So
can't wait for that. I love that the Hutt, Gorga,
yeah,
Gorga spoke in English. I love that. Or basic, that was fun. I don't know.
And he's apparently also super repulsive too. So Boba was
but is he? I don't know if that means that Jabba's going to be even more repulsive as described by Elizabeth, or if it's this character is even more repulsive than Jabba in our mind's eye. I don't know.
We'll find out. Hopefully they mention that in the next book. So
yeah, I'm sure they will. Basically, I would say this book... what did I give the last one?
I think maybe 6.
This is pretty down the middle, but I was pretty annoyed by it, so I'm going a little below average, and I'm going to go 4.5 midichlorians.
No, I was gonna go 5. So that's this is right in the middle. It's not bad, but it's not significant. So
Yeah,
and that's it.
Okay.
We're just going in circles at this point. We're just like repeating the same ideas over and over again.
Yeah, that's
We're done.
true. We are done. Next week is Legacy of Jedi, Returning to Jude. I'm excited. That'll be up at our normal time on Friday.
Yep. I can't wait to read this book. Because
I'm excited, yeah.
Because this book kind of jumps around a little bit, so we're going to get some Jude writing some Qui-Gon Jinn, and we got Count Dooku on the cover, too, so that's going to be good.
Yeah!
Good.
So I'll say something to extend this episode a little bit. I read this book right before we started recording out on my porch. Wonderful, because it's finally warm here. And so I brought my rocking chair out to the porch, and I was just reading, and beautiful breeze blowing by. You know what will make that even better? A book that I actually care about. So when I'm on Thursday, let's be real, I was going to say on Wednesday, but I always read right before recording, so let's be real. On Thursday, I'll just be rocking back and forth on my porch, letting the breeze blow my hair in the wind. Incredible stuff. Just taking in the words of the great Jude Watson. So,
yeah, I don't expect anything less than an 8 out of this book. I'm saying it now.
Anytime she's had to rise to the occasion, she has. Every major book that she's written so far has been great. Like 8, I think, is lowballing it. Honestly, I think it's very unlikely that this is not a 10. Like right. I think 10 is the low end for us. So you're not to put too much pressure on Jude 15 years ago, but the pressure's on. The pressure's on, Jude.
So I'm very excited for this book. So you have the hardback versions of those books, correct?
I do.
All right, yeah. I have the paperback version, which combined both books into
it's
one.
An omnibus, yeah.
And it also has a short story in it.
Right.
Which is called The Last One Standing. So
does that come after this one, or
it comes after the next one, I think. So
okay, then we'll talk about it on that episode. Then
let me see who the character. Okay, it's this book. This I'll just say it's Obi-Wan post Revenge of the Sith. So this one's gonna be fun. So and it's about 20 pages. So all right,
cool. We'll talk about that probably with the second one then.
Yeah.
With Secrets of the Jedi, which is coming a few weeks after. But our schedule basically coming up. We got Legacy of the Jedi, then the next 3 Boba Fett's, and then Secrets of the Jedi.
Yep.
And then we don't have it set in stone, but I imagine we'll be jumping into Last of the Jedi pretty soon after that. So
yeah, because
maybe we should do a Galaxy of Fear at some point in there.
I was thinking that too, or we should do something new canon, just because we should. Because our last new canon thing was what? Oh, freaking
Spark of the Resistance.
Yeah, maybe we should do. Do you got a copy of Chewbacca and the Forest of Fear?
No, but I can get one.
Okay.
And that's a while off still. So yeah, we got that, and there is the one coming up for the High Republic stuff in August. So we will do that.
That's true. We could also.
But we should. Yeah.
We should do that Aliens one, Tales from a Galaxy Far, Far Away, Aliens Volume 1. There was never Volume 2.
You got me that one. So,
yeah, there's an Unkar Plutt story, and let's be honest, Unkar Plutt, he's the real gift.
Is he like on the top 3 things about the sequel trilogy?
I would think so. Yeah, he's one of the
Portions thing alone is so iconic.
I know.
It's one of the only truly iconic moments from Force Awakens. Portion.
Water portion. I really hope that character had come back. In the third movie.
I'm surprised JJ didn't bring him back.
I thought he was supposed to. I thought Simon Pegg said he was coming back.
Maybe he's just like another creature in the background somewhere or something.
Yep, just like Jeff Garlin.
Yeah. So disrespectful to the great Jeff Garlin. Anyway. Okay.
The movie's such a mess.
Right.
Which you should watch again soon, now that it's going to be on Disney Plus tomorrow.
I don't know.
Today.
I am trying to get it through the rest of my life without seeing it again. I think that's the goal. So
There's good stuff there. Some good stuff there.
yeah, some.
Babu Frick, ever hear of him?
Love Babu Frick. No, never diss Babu Frick in my presence, but I'll diss the movie he's in all I want.
Oh, okay, all right. Great shooting, Lando. If you know what I'm talking about. Then...
Hey, I love Wedge. You know how I feel about Wedge.
I do. Well, we won't get into that. I'm no shots at Wedge. I was just right though. About
he's the hero. You were right about what he would do, but I had no.
Yeah.
Whatever. We don't need to get into it. He is the hero of the rebellion, and you need to put some respect on his name. That's all I have to say about it. Okay. So yeah, we'll be back later this week. With Legacy of the Jedi. So.
Yep. So all right. Until the books are due back.
The library is closed. Padawan Library is hosted and produced by Tim May and Levi Paratic. It is edited by Tim May. Our theme song is by the Astral Project. Our artwork is by Freddie Funbuns. Copyright 2020, Tim May and Levi Paratic, all rights reserved.